In the name of saving the world, some crazy scientists imprisoned some psychic and superhuman ability children in a facility from where escape was completely impossible. And at the same time, they were doing some dangerous and painful experiments on them there, which would make normal people wet their pants just by hearing about them. Actually, all this starts with a very genius child named Luke, whose exam was going on in the university today, and despite the questions being very difficult, Luke completed the 3-hour paper in 30 minutes and threw it on the teacher's face. Now, all the other children are very shocked because he finished the paper so quickly, and then after the exam is over, some girls come to him and ask him the answers of today's question paper. She starts asking him. After talking to him for a while, Luke left to play basketball with one of his friends. While playing basketball, he tore his jersey, which upset him a bit, and he went home after talking to his friend. Now, somewhere his parents were also very upset due to him being such a genius, because along with being super intelligent, Luke also had the power of telekinesis, but Luke did not know how to control it at all. So today, while talking to his parents about his future in a pizza restaurant, Luke accidentally drops a plate there, which was seen by a woman sitting there, but for now she ignores all these things. Then while talking to his parents, Luke tells them about his dream of going to MIT, but because his parents had seen the movie Krish, they did not want to send him far away due to his being so intelligent. Thinking this, they got him admitted in a nearby university. They advise him to take the flight, but Luke does not listen to them, and after going to his house, he does some more research about MIT and goes to sleep. But tonight, suddenly a lot of people attacked his house, out of which a girl comes to Luke's room with a lot of soldiers and first of all makes him unconscious, and later Luke is kidnapped. In the name of saving the world, some crazy scientists imprisoned some psychic and superhuman ability children in a facility from where escape was completely impossible. And at the same time, they were doing some dangerous and painful experiments on them there, which would make normal people wet their pants just by hearing about them. Actually, all this starts with a very genius child named Luke, whose exam was going on in the university today, and despite the questions being very difficult, Luke completed the 3-hour paper in 30 minutes and threw it on the teacher's face. Now, all the other children are very shocked because he finished the paper so quickly, and then after the exam is over, some girls come to him and ask him the answers of today's question paper. She starts asking him. After talking to him for a while, Luke left to play basketball with one of his friends. While playing basketball, he tore his jersey, which upset him a bit, and he went home after talking to his friend. Now, somewhere his parents were also very upset due to him being such a genius, because along with being super intelligent, Luke also had the power of telekinesis, but Luke did not know how to control it at all. So today, while talking to his parents about his future in a pizza restaurant, Luke accidentally drops a plate there, which was seen by a woman sitting there, but for now she ignores all these things. Then while talking to his parents, Luke tells them about his dream of going to MIT, but because his parents had seen the movie Krish, they did not want to send him far away due to his being so intelligent. Thinking this, they got him admitted in a nearby university. They advise him to take the flight, but Luke does not listen to them, and after going to his house, he does some more research about MIT and goes to sleep. But tonight, suddenly a lot of people attacked his house, out of which a girl comes to Luke's room with a lot of soldiers and first of all makes him unconscious, and later Luke is kidnapped. On the other hand, a man named Tim was waiting for his flight at the New York airport, but due to the flight being overbooked, suddenly the airport staff comes there and offers money to everyone so that the passengers cancel their flight tickets, on which more than half of the people were not agreeing, but Tim immediately agrees to this by taking $500 extra from them and goes out on the highway and tries to ask for lift from the vehicles passing by. Then luckily a good woman gave him a lift, but in return Tim had to help unload the goods present on his truck. He had to help, and the team happily agreed to this and sat in that car and started going towards their destination for free. And he reaches his destination in a short while. As soon as he reaches there, by chance he sees a poster on a notice board, which was of the post of night walker in the police station, after seeing which the team immediately goes to the police station of that place and talks to the inspector there about that post, and then the inspector there also hires him after talking to him for a while. On the other hand, when Luke opened his eyes, he was in his room for now, but the things there seemed a little changed to him, and the strangest thing was that the t-shirt which he had torn while playing basketball the previous day, was completely fine inside this room. Then getting a little shocked by this, he immediately comes out of his room, and then he realizes that he was not actually in his house. Then in the corridor he meets a girl named Callus, who tells him that right now for now, they are in a facility called the Institute, where children with superpowers like them were captured and brought, but neither could they contact their parents from here, nor did anyone in the outside world know about their presence there. 6 also used to keep an eye on all the experiments done on the children at this place, and all the experiments done there were done by Dr. Hendricks. Apart from those two, there was also a security head named Mr. Steakhouse, who used to handle the entire security of the institute, and especially took care that no child could escape from there under any circumstances. For now, all 3 of them are keeping an eye on Luke and Callus's conversations, and were shocked to see Luke not panicking despite being in such a dangerous situation. Well, outside for now, while talking to Callus, Luke comes to know that Callus actually has telepathy, that is, the power to read people's minds, and after knowing this, Luke also told her that she actually has the power of telekinesis. Well, for now, while talking to him, Callus gives him all the information about the institute, after which she kisses Luke without saying anything. But in the meantime, Steakhouse comes there and takes Luke with him to meet 6B. At the same time, as the team had got the work of patrolling in the area around that police station at night, so the officer Wendy present in the police station gives him all the information about the surrounding area, after which she told the team to come for patrolling at night. On the other hand, while going to 6B in the institute, Luke suddenly notices the same girl Michelle in the lift, who had kidnapped him and brought him to the institute. On seeing her, Luke wanted to talk to her and ask about his parents. But then the Steakhouse and a guard accompanying him forcefully stopped Luke. They catch them, put them in the lift, and take them straight to 6B. Then while talking, 6B tells Luke that actually all the people present there have kidnapped all those children to save the world from a very big danger, for which they will enhance their powers by doing some experiments on them, and within 10 to 15 days, after finishing all their experiments, they will enhance the powers of all those children, and then after erasing all the memories related to their institute, they will be left at their home again. But while staying here, they will have to follow all the rules here properly, because if they do not do so, their powers will not be fully enhanced, and in such a situation they can be kept at this place for more than 15 days. Now, after hearing all this, Luke feels a bit strange, but then 6B sends him to his room. On the other hand, when the team gets ready and goes out for patrolling at night, they meet an old woman sitting in a tent on the road, who was listening to some news on the radio, and after seeing the team, she started talking to her as if the team knew her from a long time, while none of them had even seen each other's face before today. Now the team, all these things seemed very strange to the team, but then the old woman advises the team to listen to a man named George, and also tells him that there are many strange things in the world, about which people around the world are completely unaware. Now, as all these things were going on over the team, that is why they immediately leave from there. On the other hand, Milicia had got 48 hours leave from her work in the institute, so she was going to go to the outside world and enjoy a bit there, but then while she was going out, Steakhouse comes to her and starts talking to her, during which it was clearly understood from their conversation that somewhere a very big mistake was made while bringing Luke from Michelle, and maybe now his parents were not in this world. Well, now Steakhouse tells her not to worry about this and asks her to bring the next child carefully, after which Milicia left from there immediately. And on the other hand, Luke was talking to a sweeper named Morin on his way to a lab, after talking to whom he would get to know actually, tokens were given to the children who followed discipline there, and with their help, they could buy their favorite things from the vending machine present in the institute. Now, after knowing all these things, when Luke reaches the lab room from there, the security guard present there asks him to sit on a chair, because for now he was going to put a tracker in Luke's ear. Then initially Luke refused to get any tracker installed, on which the security guard gets very angry and punches Luke on his face, and later after forcibly making him sit on the chair, he puts the tracker in his ear. On the other hand, Michelle had gone to a bar with her girlfriend to enjoy for now, where after having a little drinking party, they go to a nearby hotel to have a pillow fight. Then on their way, the team passes in front of them, which somehow makes it clear that the team is actually near the same area where that institute was present. Well, shortly after this, Callus appears outside Luke's room at the institute, and takes him along with her to the rest of the kids for dinner. She was going there, where this time she kisses him again on the way, and tells him that actually after 3 days, as his 10 days will be completed, he will be sent to the quarantine room, which was somehow the area of their seniors, and they had no knowledge about it at all, but if in the meantime, for any reason, Calicia gets sick, then she will not be sent to the quarantine room, and because Luke had just come from outside, it was possible that some virus bacteria from outside might be present inside his body, that is why she was trying to make herself sick by kissing him again and again. Now talking about this, they reach the dining area, where Luke meets George and Iris, who were also vaccinated like him. Then while talking to them, Luke also comes to know that actually in this institute, apart from vaccines and TP, children were divided into two more categories, one of which was of the NEC, and the other was of POS. POS used to house those children from TP and TK who could control their powers in the best possible way, while NEC used to house those children who did not know how to use their powers. So George also shows his power there because he was actually a POS, and after seeing him, Luke was blown away. Anyway, in the meantime another person named NEC comes there, who was a bit angrier than the others in his chatter, and somewhere he openly admitted that he did not like staying in this place forcibly at all. Meanwhile, after having a pillow fight in the hotel, Kat fell asleep. But somewhere Michelle was very upset due to the death of Luke's parents, and now she was finding the institute people very wrong. That's why after waking up Kate, she tells her everything about all these things, after which she also decided to post about all these things online. But before she could do so, Kate takes out her gun from behind and shoots her dead. Actually, Kate herself used to work for the Institute's steakhouse, which had been following Michelle from the beginning, so that later Michelle could never be a part of the Institute. There is no need to reveal about the Institute to anyone else. And, she immediately informs the steakhouse about killing Michelle. And the steakhouse also gives all Michelle's work to Kat. On the other hand, Luke goes out of the Institute because he is unable to sleep, where Nikki is sitting alone playing chess and smoking. But on seeing Luke, he invites Luke to play chess with him. Luke does not agree to this initially, but later he defeats Nikki while playing chess with her. Due to which Nikki also understood that Luke is actually very intelligent. That is why Nikki shares his feelings with Luke and tells him that he actually does not like living in this place at all and he wants to get out of here as soon as possible under any circumstances. He wanted to make a plan to get out of here, in which he needed Luke's help. Although Luke does not give a clear answer about this, but somewhere it seemed from his words that he has agreed to support Nick in his plan. Well, the next morning, 6B herself comes to wake Luke up, where she immediately starts taking him outside with her. Because today, as Iris has completed 10 days, she was going to be sent to the graduation area. From where, after completing her training completely, she would go straight to her home. That is why cake and other celebration items have been ordered for her there. During this time, Iris and the others were also sad somewhere, because they knew that the person who went to the other side of the institute had never come to meet them again till date. And neither did they know what kind of experiments were going to be done with Iris in the graduation area. Today, Luke was also going to be injected for the first time and experiments were going to be done with him. Due to which Luke gets a little excited, but Callie tells him to be very careful. Because those injections not only caused a lot of pain, but they also had other side effects. Well, Nikki is very sad due to Iris's departure, because Nikki and Iris had started liking each other, but now both of them knew that despite coming out, they would never be able to meet each other. That is why both of them finally hug each other once, after which Iris also hugs everyone else and leaves from there with the guard. On the other hand, the team goes to the police station for now and talks to Vending and asks him for a gun. Because there was a lot of danger inside the town at night and in such a situation he could also be attacked anytime. But due to his newness, Vending flatly refused to give him a gun, because earlier the team itself had worked for the army and fellow police forces and during that time in one mission, he had accidentally shot and killed a teenage kid. Reminding him about this, Vending immediately sends him away from there. But after he leaves, Vending gets a chance to crack his joke. There was a little laughter due to the habit of doing this. Well, while talking to their boss at the institute, Kat and Steakhouse inform him about Michelle being a cheater. After which he told about appointing Kat in her place and now the man was also told that Iris has also been sent to the graduation room on this day. Then first of all after knowing about Michelle, the man gets angry at them due to their carelessness. But later he disconnects the call by asking them to focus and work. Well, in the meantime, Hendrix had brought Luke with him to a room to experiment on him. Where after tying him to a chair, an object is kept in front of him and Hendrix wanted Luke to use his power to blow that object in the air. But as Luke could not use his power according to his wish, that is why he is failing to do so. So Hendrix immediately injects a medicine into his body which made Luke feel a little dizzy and he also had a headache. But since Luke was still not able to blow that stuff up in the air, Hendrix again injects the same dose of medicine into Luke's body and now Luke is finally able to use his power as per his wish. But due to using his power for the first time as per his wish, Luke's condition became very bad. That's why he is soon sent back to his room. Now Luke's condition was really very bad, so on the way, Maureen comes to him and tells him to go to the cafeteria and eat something so that he feels a little better. So on going to the cafeteria, he meets Nick again. While Luke was talking to her and telling her about his experience of his first experiment, Calicia brings George there supporting him, whose own condition had also deteriorated badly due to today's experiment. So, on asking Nikki about George, Luke comes to know that actually today was a test of George's final trial, which is known as Mind Box, which was actually the most painful experiment here because during that experiment, by showing different types of lights, those memories present in your mind were triggered, which were either the worst or you used to be very scared because of those memories. Well, now after knowing about all these things, Luke gets a little more scared, and at the same time, he had completely decided that he will make the plan to get out of here successful with Nick at any cost. But as he could not talk about this inside due to the surveillance system, that is why he went outside on the pretext of playing basketball and started talking about all these things. While talking, he understood somewhere that actually the security system here and the fencing outside is the strongest. It was absolutely impossible to escape from them, and in such a situation he either needed someone who was a staff member, who could help him and somehow tell him the way out of there. But this idea has the highest risk, because if by mistake that staff member tells 6B or anyone else about all these things, then later Luke and everyone else would have to face very bad consequences. That is why now they needed a telepath who could somehow read the mind of the staff members present there without anyone knowing, with the help of which they could know everything about the inside information and they could make a very good plan to get out of here. But the biggest problem here is that till now there was no such telepath present in the Institute who could use Poso and his power as per his wish. Well, now during that time while talking, they notice a big factory nearby from which black smoke kept coming out continuously. But no one knew what happens in that part of the Institute. On the other hand, when the team was roaming in the town for now, then suddenly they see that old woman Annie again, who was trying to stop a woman and tell her that Joey's death was not actually an accident. Now after hearing this, the woman gets really angry, because Joey was actually her son, who had died some time ago due to some reason, but till date no one knew anything about the proper reason of his death. Well, for now the team somehow tries to calm Annie down, but in the meantime a police officer Drew comes there and starts explaining to the team that Annie is actually a mad Ducrea, who often puts the villagers in trouble by telling them wrong things. Well, now going to the police station, the team talks to Vending about Soy, who tells them that Soy actually once went to the nearby forest to have a liquor party with many of his friends, where there is a place named Red Steps near a river, and a very high voltage current is also created with the help of the flowing water of that river. But due to excessive drinking during that time, all those children fell into the water and their bodies were found after many days. Since that time, Annie said that she had already got intuition about all these things, and in reality all those children did not die due to drinking, but someone had killed them intentionally. But later, due to no struggle sign being found there, the police closed the file, calling that case a drowning case, and since then, Yanni always tried to explain to Soy's mother that Soy's death was not an accident. At the same time, after today's experiment, George's ability had grown a lot and he was able to put coils in the vending machine present in the Institute and take them out with the help of his telekinesis power. Well, at the same time, Calicia, Luke and Nick are sitting nearby and talking about Morin, whose nature was very good with them and it was possible that she could help them escape from there. But Nick clearly refuses this, because trusting Morin was not going to be that easy, and she could also go to 6B like the others and reveal their plan to them. Well, then suddenly Luke, while talking to them, tells them about a child who was probably going to come there tonight, and as usual everyone was already informed about him, because the child who was going to come there was much younger than all of them. Well, on the other hand, today patrolling the ambulance and the in charge of the police station reached the team. After knowing the whole situation, the first thing he did was thank the team, because it was because of them that the whole situation was handled. And if he was not there, Doria's death was certain today. Well, now at night, when Luke is sleeping in the Institute, suddenly he hears the sound of a child crying from outside. And he immediately goes out and starts taking care of the child named Avery Dixon. Meanwhile, Calicia and his partner Nick also reached there. On seeing the child, Calicia first tries to calm him down. But during that time, when Calicia tries to look into the child's mind, the ground slips under her feet. Then she somehow calms the child down along with George and sends him to a room. And after that, while talking to Nick and Luke, she tells them that Avery was actually a TP himself, but his power was really very high and he could already read the minds of the people around him by using his power. After knowing this, Luke and Nick become very happy, because according to them, with the help of Avery, they could now find a way out of there by reading the minds of all the staff members present around. Well, now the next day, that guard named Tony takes Luke with him outside Drive. Hendrix, lab, where Drive. Hendrix had now made up his mind to do a very brutal experiment on Luke, and even today, after tying Luke to a chair, he first forcefully injects him with an injection on his hand and later turns on a white screen in front of Luke and tells him that whenever he starts seeing dots inside the screen, he should tell them at that time. Now, due to the excessive light in that screen, Luke was feeling very jealous to look at it. But then Tony grabs his neck and forcefully shows him that screen, and in a short while, finally Luke starts seeing some colored dots inside it, but immediately after that his body becomes completely stiff, after which his nose starts bleeding and overall his condition has become very bad. But despite that, Dr. Hendrix still continues to experiment on him and shows him the backside of some animal pictures and tries to find out which animal was actually inside that paper. But according to Luke, he is not able to see anything except the backside of the paper, so now after trying continuously for a long time, Hendrix gets very frustrated and throws Luke in Luke's room with the help of Tony. Then after going there, Luke was feeling very bad, that's why he sat on the ground and started crying very loudly, but there was no one here to understand his situation. Well, on the other hand, as the team had saved Dario's life last night, he should have got an award because of his work, but Dario takes all the credit of his award, after knowing about which, Pendy felt very bad for the team, but when she talked to the team about this, the team did not care about it, that's why seeing this habit of her, Pendy started liking her in her mind, but right now she does not tell the team anything about this. Well, after a while eating food with everyone in the institute, Calicia tells everyone that actually her TP has power. And that was very less, but Avery's power was somewhere 10 times more than that. He could know a lot of things about the people around him by reading their minds, and also he could manipulate anyone's mind after focusing a lot on his power. Well, then Avery also brings his food there and then he reads the minds of Nick, Calicia and his friend Luke and tells them that Luke had actually started liking Calicia, but Calicia liked Nick, and according to Nick's mind, he did not care about any of these things. Now after hearing all this, everyone is completely shocked. But Luke then talks to Avery and tells her not to tell such things to anyone. Well, now at the same time, Maureen goes out of the eyes of those people and goes straight to 6B's office, where somewhere from the talk of 6B and Maureen, it was understood that Maureen actually hates all those children a lot, and it was only because of 6B that she used to talk to them lovingly so that after knowing their mind, she can tell 6B about it later. Then after listening to her, 6B somehow got to know that all the children are soon going to make a plan to run away from here, but on hearing about this, Steakhouse assures it that under no circumstances those children can run away from here under its security. Also, 6B then asks Maureen to stay completely away from Avery for now, because Avery could read her mind and tell everyone else about her whole truth, due to which all the children would not share anything with Maureen in the future. Well, now 6B also left from there and went to talk to Dr. Hendrix. Although Drive, Hendrix had said good things about all the children, but deliberately he gives a wrong report about Luke to 6B, due to which 6B somehow got to know that Dr. Hendrix and Steakhouse together are definitely cooking up something. Well, now after going back to her office, 6B watches the CCTV footage of the previous night, in which she understood from Hendrix's and Steakhouse's conversation that Hendrix was hiding many things from her for now, and somewhere he is completely right about both of them. That is why she immediately calls her boss to inform him about all these things, but her boss had more faith in Steakhouse than 6B, that is why he completely ignores 6B's words and asks 6B to focus on her work. On the other hand, the team had gone out on patrolling again for now, where at night they meet Annie again, who was enjoying a lot while playing Step. Then the team, while talking to her, asks her to take rest at this time of the night. But according to Annie, a very big danger was about to come upon their city, and somewhere near Route number 10, there was a place where the government was doing a very dangerous experiment with some people, and somewhere the world was in great danger from it. Now after telling all these things, she tells the team one more thing, that soon a plane is going to crash at a place in which the government is going to be at fault, but the government will put the entire blame of its mistake on someone else. Now after hearing this, the team does not believe this, that is why they go to a nearby bar and start drinking some alcohol, but then suddenly their eyes fall on a news in which a plane crash and a man were being told about whose mistake caused that plane crash. Now after seeing this thing, the team's mind was completely blown away, That is why they start talking about this with a girl sitting nearby, and that girl was actually none other than Kate. Then Kate talks to him about her. She introduces him as a journalist, who after knowing and being a bit impressed by him, tells him all about Annie's things, that according to Annie, there was a place near Route number 10, where the government was doing very dangerous experiments. Now after knowing this, Kate feels very strange, but hiding her nervousness, she shows in front of the team as if experiments are being done on very dangerous diseases inside the lab present at that place. Then after telling all this, Kate left from there making some excuse, but the team was sitting there and drinking alcohol. Well, on the other hand, Aubrey was roaming with Luke for now, where he starts reading the thoughts going on in the minds of the nearby staff and telling him about them, out of which Tony actually hated him a lot. After knowing about it, Luke gets very shocked, and because he now knows about Maureen, that Maureen tells everything to 6B, he gets a little upset. Well, the next day Luke, while sitting outside and playing with everyone, told them about all these things, after knowing about which they also get completely shocked. And then Nick starts thinking that if they somehow dig the fencing around the institute from below, then maybe they can get out of that place, but that fencing was actually buried very deep in the ground. But then Aubrey takes control of the mind of Cord's dog roaming on the other side of the fencing. And then he comes to know that actually there was a part of the fencing at one place where by digging a little, they could get out of that place very easily. Now he is talking about this to Kelly. But still, this Shannon woman, Kalisa, arrives in a very bad condition. The final experiment had been done on her, and hence she was to be sent to the graduation area the next day. That is why she gets very emotional and hugs Aubrey. Because she had come to know that the staff here was not going to leave them at their home under any circumstances, and that is why Callie did not want to be separated from her other friends for now. Well, now due to bad luck, Kalisa was going to be sent to the graduation area today, due to which preparations like Iris were made for her. After seeing this, Kalisa became even more worried. Then all the other people together somehow handle her, and then Aubrey also tells her that somehow he will connect with Kalisa's mind and will keep contacting her again and again. Due to which they will also get to know more and more things about the graduation area, and Kalisa will also not feel alone after going to that place. And then after talking to her for a while, Nick somehow convinces her. And later the guards go and forcibly take Kalisa with them. During that time, Awari had connected Kalisa's brain to his brain, and because of that, he was able to see everything around him through vision. But as soon as the guards caught him and took him inside a room, after going there, Kalisa completely lost her senses, and at the same time, Aubrey's contact with her was also completely broken, after knowing about which he becomes very upset, and for now, Sex was also watching the entire activities of Aubrey and his friends sitting in her office. Then immediately Yoko, thinking, flies straight to Moria, where she told him in front of Morin that actually she has come to know because of Aubrey that in fact Moria hates them as well as Sex and all the other people very much, and if she wants to take revenge from them for something, then Leok could help Morin in that. But in return, Morin will also have to help them get out of there. And Morin was very scared after hearing this. But because she was under surveillance, she just told Leo that this was not the right time to talk about this, and after saying this she sent Leo back. Well, tonight, after going out for work, the team first goes straight to Annie's tent house, but they do not see Annie there, and then when they get surprised inside the tent house, the team's eyes were wide open, because in reality, someone had poisoned Annie and killed her there, seeing which the team was completely shocked, and they could not understand who would have done all these things to Annie. Now, somewhere you people must have understood that he has done all this, but what will be the team's reaction when they come to know about this? Will they try to investigate this on their own or will they take the help of the police? And the biggest question is what exactly is Morin trying to take revenge on Sex before, and whether or not she will actually help Leok and the others get out of the place in the future. Sorry, because due to the video being too long, I will be able to answer all these questions in its next part. But should I continue its story? I mean, are you liking this series, or should I discontinue this series and work on some other series? Do share your thoughts in the comment section. And like always, if even 100 people want to see its second part, then I will definitely bring its second part for those 100 people as soon as possible. Due to my slight illness in between, I was not able to complete the 4028 ready video on time, for which I apologize from the bottom of my heart. But since my health is completely fine, I will complete the next part of this series as well as the upcoming videos completely on time so that you people also do not have to wait for a long time to know the story. I hope you guys liked my explanation video, and if you liked my explanation video, then subscribe to the channel and select the bell notification on all, and also like the video. I will keep bringing more such interesting explanation videos. Well, till then, ta-ta and goodbye.